Talking.
I
Perfect.
apologize for nodding.
Good. Well, actually, no, that's not good. You're not God here. Anyway. So, welcome everybody back to the newest session of this campaign. Full name pending. As we last left off, you guys set out from the city of Yanrel on the road with your wizard friend Robin, and we're on the way to his hometown of Duskhaven. Shortly after setting out on the road, about, I forget what I said, if it was a half day or a couple hours or so. You got, your newly purchased double horse wagon and singular accompany horse, or additional accompanying horse, were set upon by a harpy, intent on having Robin's familiar Sir Soren as a light snack. What they had planned to do with the rest of you, or if they had planned to do anything at all, remains uncertain, as Robin's newly, as you guys, as Rob group and / bodyguards, struck quite the blow to the singular harpy and very easily tracked it down to its flock that appeared to be led or perhaps championed by a hill giant that had emerged from the cave. A battle ensued where some of the harpies made use of several magical weapons, and after a few close calls, one where Okard was viciously hunted by a singular harpy, and Gwaihir was struck unconscious, just batted down into the dirt by the hill giant. Fortunately, the battle ended without any casualties of such. As you guys investigated the small little dugout cave that was, well, small, it was big enough to hold a hill giant, you guys were, I don't know why the word's escaping me. You guys were fortunate enough to find quite the generous bounty that the harpies and supposedly the hill giant had picked up from passerby in the coming not the coming days, in the days of the past. A sizable chunk of gold and silver, as well as 5 unique items, some magical, some not quite, as well as the weapons that the harpies utilized during the battle. As you guys preliminarily split up some of your first, major paydays as a group together, as this makeshift band of mercenaries, you returned to the wagon where you had left Robin, Sir Soren, your wagon, and your 3 horses. And upon making your way closer, you returned initially to the perimeter to the sound of thunder and the chill of ice and the heat of fire, coming back to see that the wizard Robin Thwarb, was successful in defending the wagon while you were all away. I forget exactly who it was, but someone was jokingly worried that he would have simply taken the wagon and run. As you come back and see the results of what Robin can do while he is at his full power, he turns to greet all of you, a singular harpy body being crushed in a giant arcane fist of his conjuring. And as he turns to all of you and says, "Oh, you're back. Wonderful." And the giant arcane hand just releases and kind of flicks away the harpy body off into the trees and says, "Well, there's 5 of you. I take it everything went well." And he does seem a little out of breath, but nowhere near quite as drained and, on death's door as he was when you guys first initially met him. So the bar's kind of low there, but he seems winded, if nothing else, but otherwise uninjured, as well as Sir Soren, who appears to have been hidden within the wagon.
I wave at the giant hand.
As Gwai here waves at the giant hand, Robin will kind of look at you and then look at it, and it's like, "Oh, have you..." And he will move the hand in tandem with it and like kind of slowly wave it back at you and be like, "Is this your first time seeing that?" And he'll actually give one final look around and just kind of like wiggle the fingers a little bit, like kind of that wave of, not like waving the hand to greet somebody, where it's like doing the pinky first all the way to the index and just kind of flexing the hand around a little bit. And he's like, yes, it's amazing what you can accomplish by having your nose to the arcane grindstone for a while. And he's just kind of conversing with you guys because he wants to know that you're all okay, and kind of just looking for a report, basically.
Elena's gonna look at him impressed.
Okay. Does anybody else say anything? Because he did ask you what happened exactly.
I taste colors now, but I'm okay.
And Robin will look at you and he'll say, Oh, well, you came back alive, and that's what's important. And there is actually, and he says, he looks to you and he says, just don't get in Gwai here. He will point to you and just say, some of you can, we have potions somewhere. My scaled employee, don't worry, we can get that sorted out. As you guys realize what he's saying when he says that, there is something that we did not cover when we finished the last session. As you guys all agreed to during session 1, you guys were fond of the idea of lingering injuries that occurred whenever someone was either knocked unconscious or killed outright.
Oh no.
For just as a quick reminder, I believe it was Gwai here that was knocked unconscious by the hill giant, as I said before. So, Gwai here, I did roll a d20 on the chart beforehand. You miraculously got a...
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right. You got a broken nose from the giant club of the hill giant. It is painful, but doesn't have any adverse effect. Any magical mending mends your nose, although it may heal crooked if it is crooked when the healing is applied. The healing that woke you up from being unconscious was applied in the midst of battle, so it definitely was not set correctly. So Gwai here, your
Pretend his
dragon.
voice is very nasally.
Yep. So, Gwai here, while you do not have any adverse effects, if somebody wants to, they will have to essentially break your nose again, set it right, and then magically heal you to properly fix your dragonborn snout, which is really just kind of.
I got you.
Isn't that like
kind of leaning
part
on
of
the
his-
side?
I was gonna say part of his face is messed up.
Yeah, it's like his whole face.
Not like a nose. It's a whole
Yeah,
face.
no, he's a dragonborn. His nose is like 50% of his face.
Yeah. I can fix that for you,
Just
Gwai
like,
here.
Yeah, you guys are essentially gonna have to break his nose. You're gonna have to break Gwahir's face in order to reset that. You see Robin just kind of looking
This
at it.
will
Like,
be fun.
Good luck with that. So, and
It'll be interesting.
so you guys can take care of that later, should you so choose, or you could take care of it now. It's your choice. Just you.
What do I?
It's up to you guys.
Sure, punch me in the nose.
Oh wait, I can do that. You want me to try? Because I won't do any
You
damage.
can do this without killing him.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I can. Oh wait, what did you? Oh, that's
Figured a
fine.
medicine check, right, to break it properly.
Sure. Just from now on, ask me when you want to do stuff, and I'll let you know what kind of roll you want to do. I'd prefer it if you didn't just roll it without me asking you to.
I did. You said whatever you want.
Oh, I meant more on like if you guys wanted to do it now or later. I wasn't referring to the actual rolls and everything. My apologies. So, sure. So with a 12, Alcod, I will say as a fellow Dragonborn of the group, you kind of know that it's like, okay, I'm not gonna let all these non-Dragonborn fellows screw this up. So it's not great as you're just kind of walking up and just kind of Gwahir's nose. It's not great. It's not pretty. But if you guys kind of want to work together, if someone perhaps wants to hold Gwahir in place, I will allow you to make a second medicine check with advantage this time.
I'm holding.
Okay. So Helena will just kind of... How do you hold Gwahir? How do you brace them for this? Because it's not going to be comfortable.
Yeah, I'm also a dwarf, so I'm a little shorter. I'll kind of brace his arms
Okay.
under his arms, and then kind of hold his arms back.
Okay. Gwahir, you are now like with Helena, arms raised above your head. She is holding you like a half-inch off the ground by your armpits. So, Elkod, give me a medicine check with advantage here. We're gonna see if you can righten Gwahir's snout. Ooh.
Oh, come on!
That was with it. Oh no.
I was gonna say, is that a critical fail with advantage?
Right?
That's-
It's like, how is that possible?
I thought that was advantage for a moment. So it's technically twice as better, kind of. Not really. All right. Yeah. Gwahir, it's not great. It's not. You're having a bad time, but it does take a little bit more finagling here, and Robin's just kind of like off to the side, like. He's doing that thing where, like, he holds his hand up flat to his eyes to kind of, like, eliminate a bit of his, like, field of vision as he just kind of hears the... And it's not pretty, but if someone wants to heal Gwahir, you can get it done.
Would normal healing work?
It needs to be magical healing.
Yeah, so I can use healing word.
I can cast lay on hands.
Oh,
Okay. So
or that.
So yeah, you can just, if you just expend a singular point there, Gwahir, that would be enough in this case. So, as Gwahir just kind of gets like, it's like, all right, like, I got this myself, and they kind of just right in everything, and with a small glow of divine energy, their whole nose does heal back into place. And Robin, you will hear from the other side of the car, is like, "Are we good?" It's like, "Oh, okay, there. Ooh, I'm glad you all got that sorted out." So, and he'll actually look down to where Helena kind of dropped the box that she and Mumbo were carrying together. Helena made Mumbo go backwards for some reason.
Yeah, I did.
And he kind of looks down to the box, and as you dropped it, there was that ching ching of, like, you know, lots of coins inside. He's just like, "Oh, so it seems I was correct in my assessment of the harpies then." I was wondering. It made sense why they didn't have a whole lot on them. But how did things go on your end? Plentiful, it seems.
We managed to find a few unique weapons.
Oh. Oh yes, I don't believe you had that sword before. Looks good on you. Draco, your sword is in fact the best sword.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
I have a
and
fancy cloak now and I swish it in a fancy way.
Okay. And he says, "Oh." And you'll see Robin kind of be like, "Can't tell if that was the fire I set before, if that's the cloak. But, okay. I believe you." So, do we want to... Is there anything else that you all wish to do here? Or shall we continue on? Sir Soren, perhaps you should remain in the wagon from now on. Just to make sure we don't see any more harpies. And he says, "Of course, sir." Anything else that you guys want to do before you carry on the road?
Could Mumbo get some help with these box of coins?
Yeah, the box that you guys have, you guys had to carry the items with you, but yeah, the box that you have is, or the chest rather, has all of, a good majority of the coins here.
I'll help him load it.
Oh, thank you.
I got you, buddy.
So just as a reminder, I'm pretty sure everybody wrote it down before. It looks like someone did the math, and it was 880 gold per person, and then 200 silver per person.
That's if we just split it all. But if we make a party fund, we'd split it differently.
Yeah, and then we can go to the bank and get a loan, and we can get a good interest rate. Yeah. So that's up to you guys to for your characters to discuss if that is something that they want to move forward with. As well as, I believe we had a few
Mumbo's
items.
on the map.
Oh.
We'll just say I'm riding inside the carriage.
Mumbo's?
Mumbo's on the map.
Mumbo's right here.
Yeah,
I
He
don't
doesn't
see
vote
it.
for me either.
y'all blind.
Alright, Mumbo's gonna...
There's no token there.
I'm gonna snap my fingers. Now he's gone. And now he's back.
I saw him the whole time, but he disappeared now.
Guys,
He's
you
doing
should
an
start-
impression of a rock.
You say he's back now? Cause
I still don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see him now.
I don't see him now. Yeah.
He was there, then you moved him, and now he's
I
gone.
have the
Yep.
potion of invisibility.
And you
I see.
wasted it?
Oh, I think I know what happened.
That could have been useful in so many other situations.
No, give me a sec, guys. I think I know what happened. One moment. Let me correct this. For now, if you guys want to discuss
Yeah, what are
how you want to allocate some of the items and such.
Did we want to do a party fund?
Yeah, I think a party fund would be a smart idea.
Right.
So we should keep whatever is in the fund in the box, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
As
How
I'm new to
much?
this whole money thing, what is a party fund?
It's just a fund we use for spending on hotels or wherever we stay or whatever.
And what is a hotel?
Oh lord.
An inn.
Tavern, sorry.
Hey, I'm just in character. You know?
Good.
My bad,
good
y'all.
man. Yeah, no, it's just. Yep. So yeah, to talk about that in character and sort that out, because you guys are essentially proposing that you share your money with this. For now, you guys haven't really made any full agreements to continue on as a team in the future. So give me a moment, guys. I know exactly what I did, and this is ticking me off here. I can get Mumbo back.
Are we going to continue to discuss while you're doing that?
Yeah, please. You guys can carry on to discuss.
So
I know exactly what's going on.
How much should we put in the fund exactly, and then?
I don't mind putting our funds together, but I do believe Helena should be paid back. She fronted all the money for these carts.
No, I'm not worried about being paid back.
Well, it's not fair that you have the whole burden on you.
I mean,
I
regardless of how we split it, she'd get a fair share back anyway, or more than what she paid.
Yeah, but we get a net positive where she's making money back in a smaller net positive. So she still would be down money, just she wouldn't be essentially making as much as we are here, and that she did a lot of work.
I mean, yes, but I don't need to be paid back.
Yeah, I'm fine as long as I get a few more coins for my pocket, just because they're looking a little dangerous.
Yeah, how much though? What is gonna be in the fund? We have 4,400 gold and 2,000 silver.
1,000 silver.
So we'll put 1,000 in.
No, we have 1,000 silver.
Oh, we have 1,000. Oh, right. Wait, really? Yeah, oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was 200 per.
200 per person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The 1,000 silver. How much are we putting? Are we gonna put any of the silver in there at all, or just split that and just put gold in the fund?
That depends on. Well, you guys don't have to do this stuff equally. If your characters are a bit more on the selfish side or aren't as comfortable with these people that you met just a few days ago yet, maybe they don't want to put as much in there. You guys got to sort that out. And
I will say also, carrying 200 of anything coin-wise is quite a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Wouldn't noble people know how to carry a lot of money though?
Wouldn't what?
Just remember how much Helena's been carrying.
Nobles would have some sort of finesse carry money because they're used to carrying a lot.
Yeah, they usually put them in those gold-lined chests like the one that you brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there's a chest in that set too?
Where you guys found all the magical items there were the weapons that were used in the fight, and then there was like the scroll, the potions, and the folding boat and such. Those were all found inside a larger like treasure chest, essentially, just without like there was like the part that everybody always tries to like open to see what's inside. Those hinges had been broken off, and there was no cover to it.
Yeah.
So it was a topless treasure chest essentially. And that's where you guys kind of scooped all the coins in and took the handles to bring that back. I am so sorry, you guys. Here's what it's telling me for Mumbo's token. I mass deleted a bunch of stuff because of my account on Roll20. Now it's saying that I've met my quota for stuff that I've uploaded, so I can't even re-upload Mumbo's token that I had.
Help, I've been Thanos snapped.
Yeah, it's like
Mumbo,
quota
can't you put your
exceeded.
token out?
No! Not Thanos!
Can't you put it out?
It's saying that I can do it by deleting stuff from the library, but then I've been deleting a bunch of stuff and it's not letting me. So this is very perplexing. I apologize. Anyway.
Probably send it to Spike and let him put it up.
That could work too. I'm just trying to delete a whole bunch of old stuff here.
So how's this gonna be split up then?
That's up to you guys. You can either put a bit into the this newly proposed party fund, or you can, on a player-by-player basis, take your what you see as your fair share and just kind of hold on to it.
I mean,
if we split it evenly, and then
I'd assume you would, but it's just how much they want to donate.
yeah, like if everybody put 100 in, that would be 100 gold to the party fund, and be plenty.
So you're saying we split it among ourselves first, and then deposit
And
some.
then deposit some into the fund. Yeah.
Ah.
It would just, I would assume that there would be, punishments for people that didn't contribute but still expect to have access. But that's up to you guys to figure out.
If nobody wants
There we go. I was finally able to delete enough. Let's see if we can birth Mumbo anew.
you.
Don't make it weird.
Well, you said it. I was personally just thinking of having... Yes, we know how much gold is in there and silver, right? We know how much we each technically get.
How's
But
that? Can everybody see him? I apologize.
I can.
Yeah, he's back.
Okay. That's what happened. Yep, I accidentally got him deleted from my upload library and it just wasn't registering it anymore.
Guys, that was the scariest experience ever.
Next time, don't take the potion without telling us. Jeez.
Just once more in a fugue state, just following you guys. So, as you guys are kind of all doing this, Robin is just kind of over here as you guys are sorting it all out, like talking over it, and be like, wow, quite the haul. So, do you guys perhaps wish to sort this all out on the road? I'm sure you can discuss your coin and your, as he kind of gives a curious glance to the non-gold and silver items in there. He's just, I'm sure we can figure out everything and what it all is on the road and such. So, I take it, do you guys want to continue this discussion on your way here?
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Okay. So,
I'll get on my horse and ride close enough to the wagon.
right. So, Alright, we are going to continue on our journey to Duskhaven. You guys finally get through a full day's journey here, and your conversations continue for everything. If you guys want to sort out the specifics of the party fund later, that's fine for the exact numbers and everything, but if you want to do that now and sort out the specifics, that's okay too, but that's up to you.
Hey, while on back in the carriage, we could...
I mean, Robin's driving, you're all available to talk. The only awkward one out here would be Elcod, because he's on his own horse, so he'd kind of have to be behind the wagon to be able to kind of talk with you guys.
That's fine.
So, is there anything specific about that you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves? As you guys have kind of packed everything up here and continued on your way. I know it was said in jest beforehand when you guys took a look at your loot and all that, and you're like, Robin's getting none of that. He didn't have to fight a kill giant or whatever. You guys said something along the lines of that, and as Robin has kind of like looked over and stuff, he did not try to like make claim to anything. He did not try to like do anything like that. If anyone's anyone who would like to can roll me a just general intelligence check or a history check or whatever they'd like.
Don't ask me to do none of that.
14?
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, I misspoke. Either history is intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
forgetful?
Yeah.
Yeah, either history or a wisdom check. If you guys have something better on that, it's up to you.
I mean, I can do another history check if you'd like.
I'd prefer just one roll per person.
Then we're good.
Okay. Nobody else? Oh, okay.
Mumbo.
We're not.
I mean-
So, Mumbo
I mean,
One roll per person.
and
Gwai
Gwai here.
Come on.
Let's see here.
What about Elcon?
ooh, take that and eat it. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Gwai here, you already did one. Yeah. Who are we missing here? We're missing.
I think it looks old.
Mumbo. I think it looks
I got an
old.
8.
No, yeah, we're missing.
No, not Mumbo. It's-
Elcon. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I could do another history roll, and then I got told no, one roll per
Oh,
person.
Well,
Oh,
No.
did you do one?
well, you
I
didn't
haven't
do a
done
roll.
one. I know. That's what you told me. You told me no.
Oh,
Well, what's
sorry.
the-
I've confused Ocard's role there with you, Brad. I apologize. But
It wasn't any better, and I'm
Yeah.
proficient in that. Told him no.
Yeah.
well, thankfully, you guys have Ocard and Helena, so
Yeah.
it
There's
was,
a really good smart dwarf on board.
it was very somewhat basic knowledge. So with Mumbo's 8, Gwai here's 8, and Elcod's 9. You guys think it's a little odd because most of the time when people see shiny coins, they want to either A, take their fair share, or B, take more than their fair share. So it's a little odd that the person that's employing you wouldn't try to be like, so I'm getting my cut, right? And he'll do like the little gimme thing with the like the little, I don't want to say come hither like motion with their index finger because that makes it weird, but you know, it's like, hey, that's mine. So you guys find it a little strange, but you're also kind of distracted to be like, we were almost broke a day ago and now we have money. Like lots of it. However, Ocard and Helena, one of you has gone around kind of hearing stories from different people and just kind of their walks of life and such. One of you has lived as a warrior and just kind of know and has even previously had their own adventuring party before this. So you guys kind of know how it goes with some of the etiquette of mercenary work. Unless there's like a substantial reason that they would... This sort of stuff, when it comes to like... it essentially falls under like treasure hunting. Which, yes, there's a bit of it where it's just kind of like the person who had, like, possession is 9/10 of the law. But it also, there's a certain etiquette to it where it's just like, there's a professional courtesy. And you two both pick up that, like, it's perfectly proper that Robin isn't trying to, like, you know, sneak anything out in his pocket or anything. And seems perfectly content that you guys, like, he did not contribute to you guys making that directly, and he's not trying to make any kind of loophole where it's like, if I never employed you, you never would have come here, and you never would have made this coin, therefore I deserve a cut. And it's like, no. He wasn't there for it, so it's fine. He does, however, while you guys are on the road, ask to at least take a look at some of the magical items, and I will say that this is where you guys kind of, he is able to, like, magically identify them. I don't know if anybody else in the party has that spell, but I know that he does. So he was able to identify the folding boat for you guys, as well as the potions and the scroll and such, and he has not asked to see any of the 2 weapons that you got, or the cloak just yet, but he has been just kind of idling on while you guys have been on the road and doing that. I apologize. I don't know if... Oh, I never even took you guys over to this map. My apologies. I was feeling bad for not posting your tokens, and I didn't even have you guys over here. So as you're all just kind of going down the road, ooh, what is going on? So Elcod, you're in the back. So he has explained to you guys how the folding boat works. He's a little curious as to why someone would make a level 1 spell scroll. It's very odd to him, because to him that's not even worth the materials, especially for like a single-use attack spell. Like he looks down and it's like it's not even like a utility spell or anything like that. I'm just, well, and then he kind of looks a little wistful and he says, I do remember what it was like back in my day, and still experimenting and making spell scrolls for the first time, so perhaps that was what this was, and some young wizard just figured that they'd make a bit of coin selling it at market. And, well, the noble types, and then he also thinks like, oh, that's right, the noble types too do also think that they're they think themselves, they think much of themselves usually, but they think even more so of themselves when they have magic on paper, as it were. So that does make a bit more sense. The folding boat, though, is curious. I can't say I've ever seen that before. So, is there anything else that you guys want to know about the other items, or anything that you want to discuss with him beforehand? As you guys got a long, you guys still got 7, well, technically we're not even done with the first day, so technically you still have 17 and change days ahead of you, so it's going to be a long trip if you guys spend it in silence. So.
Oakard definitely wants to pass the sword over to him.
Oh, well, I don't want to tell you what to do, but in this case it's a bit different. You do not want to hand him anything. You just want him to take a look.
Oh, yeah.
So, Oakard, unbeknownst to everyone, as you have picked up that scimitar, you have increasingly felt like that it is a perfectly well-made weapon, even more so than the fact that it is enchanted with arcane energy as a +1 sword.
That's another thing, it's arcane. Wouldn't I be able to also check it as well?
Do you have the identify spell?
I don't have that. I was just wondering if just my general arcana would be able to tell me something.
I mean, it could tell you that, sure, but it'd be a much higher DC for the effect that I told you about. Without an identify spell, it'd be much harder. So it's your choice on to whether or not you simply want to essentially do the look, don't touch thing with Robin, or if you just want to try and figure it out for yourself, because the sword is already affecting you to such a degree. It's not making you like rabid or crazy. You're not going to turn into Golem. But you just kind of look at that sword in your hand and you're like, this is, in fact, the best sword, and no other sword compares.
I guess...
I will make a song about this sword.
I'll check it myself first, since...
Go for it. I am telling you, it's going to be a high DC to scope out exactly what meta-wise you know. Alright, I'm just going to shut the hell up, so... Jesus, okay. Oakard, do you care about swords at all?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so as soon as those thought... I'm sorry, I was talking over you. One more time.
He prefers to stay at distance.
Okay. So you haven't really... So even though you've seen them a few times in your life, you don't have a preference towards them.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you kind of sit there for a few hours on the road, and Robin eventually does get through all the other items, the potions that he explains to you guys, the folding boat, all the fun stuff. You are the closest to him. Totally the closest. Now remind me. I know Okard picked up the sword. I know Gwaihir had the cloak. Who had the whip?
Elkad.
Elkad, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Elkad,
Back.
yeah, so as Robin turns back over his shoulder to you and he says, if you want to come up to the front seat, I can take a look at that sword. And you have that moment where you're just like, no, and you have those thoughts that I described before. This is the best sword. I should make swords are the best. And you kind of have this moment where you're just like, where I wouldn't hand this sword over for anything, and I'd just be like, wait, when did I care so much about swords? And then the fact that this is a magical sword suddenly does kind of... I don't want to say that you make the immediate jump to this is a cursed sword, but this is a world of magic. You guys know exactly what that sort of stuff can do. So while you still don't want to give the sword away, you definitely think that it might be a good idea to have someone properly check it out and see if it is affecting your mind and such. So, if it's okay with you, I would say that you would basically hold it out for Robin to just kind of place a hand on the hilt, actually take it away from you, and then explain to you after ritual, or just casting normally, identify, that the sword that you have picked up and now properly attuned to, I know we did the level up on the last session, but you guys have gotten a long rest now. The scimitar that you have picked up is specifically an uncommon item called the Sword of Vengeance. It is a magically enchanted sword. It is a +1 to attack and damage rolls and such. However, it is technically cursed. So there's that. Specifically, when you become attuned to it, it extends the curse to you. As long as you remain cursed, you are unwilling to part with the sword and keep it on your person at all times. While attuned to this weapon, you have disadvantage on attack rolls made with weapons other than this one. In addition, while the sword is on your person, what Robin explains to you is that as long as you have this sword on you, Robin just became a sailor. He looks at you and says, if you were to go into a fight while this is still arcanely entwined with you, if you take damage in a fight, you may be, temporarily driven mad and force yourself to chase down the one who hurt you instead of more calmly focusing on the fight at hand. So what that means is if you take damage in a fight, you're going to have to make a wisdom save. And if you fail, you're going to attack the creature that damaged you until either they die or... until they die or until you can't reach the creature to make a melee attack. So, there's a couple of things that you can do here. You guys either need to find someone... Robin explains to all of you guys, I don't suppose any of you are a cleric or someone else who knows how to properly lift a curse. And how do you guys all react as Robin explains to you that, by technicality, Okard is cursed? Helena just says, uh-oh.
Yeah, just say, uh-oh.
Mumbo, how do you react? Spike?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Mumbo's probably just gonna sit there and, with a contemplating face on.
Okay. Elkad, in the back. You're getting bits and pieces here, since Robin's not exactly yelling. But you do get the gist of what everyone's saying.
I'm gonna wonder what can lift a curse.
And Guai here, do you have anything to add?
I say that's rough, buddy.
Gotcha. So, Robin, not being too familiar with your multiple arcane abilities and such, for some of you, does legitimately turn back to all of you and go, I don't suppose any of you are capable of lifting curses. I'm capable of a lot, but unfortunately that is not one of them. I don't suppose. And he's genuinely asking, I know that you guys, I don't think, have, not bestow curse. Why am I forgetting what the decursify spell is? I know that you...
Isn't it just
I know...
remove curse?
Yeah, oh yeah. If it was a snake.
Isn't it? It's called banishment.
Right. And now that banishes spirits, but it's remove curse.
Believe it or not, with here and just Robin using identify, banishment would work too. Because the reason this sword is cursed is because there's a fraction of a vengeful spirit encased in it. So if you just banish the spirit, it'll just become a normal +1 sword. Well, break curse would work too, but that would essentially just break his attunement to it. Which currently he doesn't want to do. Because he's cursed. So there are multiple ways to
with that, but yeah.
Right. So there's multiple ways to do it. It just doesn't look like that you guys have the means to do so just yet. And Robin says, well, of all the curses that I've seen, it's fairly simple. So I think you'll be okay for a little bit. At least until we make it to, well, I doubt any of the small towns that we pass through on our way to Duskhaven will have anybody. But if we make our Duskhaven, you can make your way to one of the temples there, and I'm sure, obviously, the clerics and such can have a way to help you out. Though, a donation to the temple will probably, some of that coin will probably need to find its way into their hands, I'm afraid. So, but it's quite alright. Not the worst curse that I've ever seen. You should see some of the things down south that I've had to deal with in my research. It was quite the marvel this one time, and he'll go on to this long speech about how he had to learn how to basically float, fly, and fall in an anti-gravity field this one time. Was basically not cast by a spellcaster. He just goes off into this story. And as you guys kind of just continue along your merry way, the day does in fact come to an end. I don't know if you guys have applied it yet, but like I said, you all do get a long rest. All your spells and hit points come back. And the next several days that we are going to be going on for here are a little uneventful. So, what I would like to do here, we're going to do a couple of things. I would like, because we are in the middle of summer here right now in Relucia, or for this region of it anyway, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is, for these next 5 days of travel, here. Do me a favor, guys. We're not in combat, but I want you all to roll initiative. And we're going to see who rolls for what on the next couple of days of travel here.
Room.
I don't know if I like the double 13.
Okay. 6. Helena, 13. It was meant to be. That's a 1 in 400 chance.
Yeah, no. What's
And
funny is my
Oakard.
son was born on the 13th, so.
Oh, there you go. It wasn't a Friday, was it?
Oh, you know it was.
Oh, it was. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
His name's not Jason, is it?
We almost went there and almost named him Jason, actually.
Alright. So, Oakard, here's what's going to happen. On Roll20, not D&D Beyond, you know how there's that little dice bit on the menu, like about this high on the screen? Well, I'm zoomed in, so it might not line up. But the last menu thing on the left, there's actually, I don't know if it's new or not, but there's a D100 thing. I want you to roll that D100, and we're going to figure out the weather here. And then what I want you to also do, a 22. As you guys are making your way here, and the food that you bought and the feed for the horses and everything is slowly depleting, as it properly should. I'm just going to kind of describe the weather as you guys go about this. And I messaged you beforehand. I would like you guys to describe to me how you're kind of going about your days practicing what you got in your level up. Just describe to us what it looks like, and I would assume that the party would be aware of these new skills that you're practicing, whether it's a spell, a martial art, if there are new changes to your senses, or your just any kind of abilities regarding that. If you guys want to just briefly describe it for us, and then if there's anything else that your characters want to talk about, I would just ask that you go for that. So, Oakard, with a 22 on your second day of travel here, I gotta mark this down so I don't lose track of the days that we have. You guys are now on the second day of travel. You are 2 days away from Yanrel, and with a 22 on the D100, it is simply light clouds in the middle of summer. There's a little bit of shade on occasion, but it's not overly hot or anything. And Oakard, as you guys eventually need to give your horses time to rest, and you guys need to make camp for the day, how do you spend a bit of the spare time that you have, either on the road or off it? What are you doing in that time?
I don't know how to put this.
Oh.
Let's think. I'm wondering, can I...
Oh.
Does it make sense if I were to, if Oakard were to close his eyes and, see a blue light in his mind?
Oh, what is this of? What are you trying to do here?
I mean, that's part of what Fairy Fire does. You get to choose.
Gotcha.
Yeah, each
So,
object
yes.
in a 20-foot cube is outlined in a blue, green, or violet light, your choice. And I'm going to choose blue. That's going to be my consistent color, too. It's going to be that every
Right.
time.
So yes, so if I recall, not only did you pick up this sword that, so I believe it was also just the Fairy Fire spell and such. So yeah, I guess that would be what I would want you to describe to us. And of course, this isn't just today. This is over the course of the next multitude of days that we're doing. Are you practicing with the sword at all, or are you simply practicing? What does it look like as you practice and attempt to catch this spell? Because obviously you're not going to be able to sit down and meditate in the middle of a fight, but are you concerned at all with the fact that you're technically cursed now, or are you just trying to focus on your magic and your music?
Yeah, I was thinking I would focus more on the magic and stuff, but what would happen while he's the meditation isn't something that would happen in the battle. It's while he's meditating during travel, he starts seeing this blue light within his mind, and
Okay.
it starts to manifest in some kind of way, and he's able to cast this spell out. After a couple days, he starts casting this spell out, and it starts lighting things up in blue.
Yeah. And obviously that spell is you obviously heard about it before. It didn't just kind of conjure in your mind. It just, you feel that you're finally ready through the practice that you've been doing, that you're finally capable of casting it. And as you kind of practice that and see that blue little cube form in your mind, essentially, it eventually does materialize out in the world through your practice. So, beyond that, nothing really of note happens. Robin does have one comment as he's looking over to all of you. I forget his exact... Hold on. I'm not even sure if he has that spell. No, he does not. So I don't know if anyone else has anything that they'd like to add, but Robin at the very least does look at you as he's sitting off to the side with feeding Sir Soren, and he's just like, ooh, it's always nice whenever you see someone reach a higher plateau like that. It's always nice to see someone putting in the work for the arcane. Yeah. I know we walk a bit different steps, and he kind of refers to your instruments and slightly to the sword, because he's not a swordsman by any means. But he is. But he does seem to respect the fact that you have reached taken a step forward in your not unique training, but your own training, your way of doing things. It's just like, congrats. So that brings us down to Mumbo. Would you roll a D100 here, unless anybody else has anything they would like to say to Okard in that meantime, because of course all of you see this happen as well. If not, we will simply move on. So yeah, Mumbo. Give me that. Oh, there we go, an 80.
I'll be very impressed and compliment him.
Okay. Anything specific? Or just... Oh, right. Oh, okay.
With many Uzenos.
Yeah.
I'll look over to Okard. You seem to have learned Fairy Fire. And I'll also cast it, and my light is actually violet.
Did you just learn how to do that spell, Hilcott?
No. That's a level 1 for me.
You had that the whole time.
I have, yes.
Okard, how do you feel about that you've accomplished this new spell, something that takes like a proper amount of effort, and your druidic companion here just kind of goes like, oh, that's cool, I've been able to do that this whole time.
I didn't say, you asked out of character. In character, I'm like, oh, that's awesome, you know? And I'll cast Violet, like next to it. Wow, about time.
That's what your actions say.
No, just, hey, cool, me too.
Right.
He doesn't know when I learned it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As you guys move on to the next day with that 80, there are no clouds in the sky. It is perfectly clear. And Mumbo, remind us if you could tell us what you got during your level up and such, and what you are doing to practice and showcase it in the meantime.
So Mumbo took a new level in Fighter, and essentially what he's going to do is go out and practice all of these days, increasing his stamina using the Great Axe, and eventually he's going to learn Action Surge and gain pretty much more stamina to be able to wield his axe for a little bit longer during battle to help his companions.
What's your... I gotta double check here. What is your level split between Barbarian and Fighter here?
I have 5 levels in Barbarian and 2 levels in Fighter.
Ah, okay.
No,
Yep,
that's
no, I see it.
a Barbarian.
I originally
Right.
did the 5 in Barbarian and 1 in Fighter just for that second wind.
Okay.
And now
Alright.
he's got the Surge too.
So, are you encouraging anyone to spar with you, or are you just going out to find, like, a tree and whack at that? Or are you trying to actually, as opposed to, seeing as how you have more in Barbarian here, what does your fighting style look like, Mumbo, given that it's this combination of things? Are you this ruthless barbaric fighter just swinging wildly, or are you trying to be a bit more disciplined with it? And are you trying to, like, spar with people?
Being as he's more Barbarian, but trying to gain more Fighter, it's gonna come off originally as a more violent swinging and no pattern to it, but he's gonna try to gain some finesse so he can continue the swings going.
Okay. Do you ask anyone to spar with you in the meantime, or are you afraid that you're gonna take a head off?
I'd ask Helena to probably spar every now and then.
If she was up for it. Helena?
Sorry, I missed all of it.
Oh. Spike and / Mumbo was talking about how he has taken a level in Fighter and was asking Helena to spar with him in the free time.
Sure, yeah, I'll spar with you.
Okay. For funsies, both roll a d20.
A flat d20?
Yeah.
Light in the middle.
Yeah, it's definitely taken you a little bit to get used to, Mumbo, because you're trying to basically shift out of the old instincts before you made this progress with your strength and your fighting form and such. So, for the initial while, Helena kind of kicks your ass a bit.
Oh, come on, Mumbo, you can do better than that.
It's very bizarre when she literally knocks you on your ass and you're on the ground, and she's, for once, taller than you.
She's just
And
gonna
then-
She's just gonna giggle at him and walk away.
Yeah. And then you sit up, even without, like, just you're on your butt, and then you're immediately taller than her. And then with that, you guys continue on your way once more. I totally have more maps of the trail here, guys. Don't worry about it. Helena, if you could roll a D100 for me, please.
Ooh.
A 94. Oh. Unfortunately, that
gonna be
means...
bad.
Well, it's not too bad. Unfortunately, today is a bit of a slower jaunt through the forest and such as the scorching heat comes down on you guys. Helena, what exactly are you doing as everybody else is practicing their magic and their fighting forms and such? What are you doing in the meantime? But between your sparring sessions with Mumbo.
She spends a lot of her time writing in her journal and just writing down little quirks about people and how they are and who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're definitely able to take a lot in, partially from the fact that this is a multiple day journey, and when you spend day after day, this is your third day on the road with these people, and when you spend so much time with them, you inevitably just kind of pick up little ticks and quirks about them. But even more so for you, it becomes very distinctly aware, or apparent to you rather, that your senses have definitely sharpened after the last few battles and encounters with death that you've had. And you're just very keenly aware of everything that's going on. Helena, I'd like you to give me a perception check, and if your passive is lower, we'll use that. Or if your passive is higher than what you roll, rather.
19, not bad.
A 19. Okay. As you're kind of sitting around and watching everyone, you just kind of have this moment where you're watching Okard practice out, and like it takes him a little while as he's trying to cover more and more of an area with this blue sparkling light that he has, and then eventually Okard comes over and he's like, "Hey, check out my purple." And then Mumbo's kind of just recovering from the ass kicking you just gave him, and Robin's over there just stroking the feathers of Sir Sword and such. And you just kind of have this moment where you're not exactly zoning out, but you're not really focused on anything. And it's due to that you can see it. You guys are... It's a bit different from the map here. You guys are kind of at this point on the trail where you've stopped by this this creek and this open field to one side. And on the other side of... It's essentially like a tall grass field. It's not like a farm or anything like that. And once it's very clear within your line of sight where the tall grass ends and these larger trees begin once again. And on the other side of that field, and like it's got to be at least a quarter mile away from you guys, up at the top of the trees, there's always that one singular tree that sticks out from everything. And you just for a moment see something move. And you notice that, like, that's something. And given the fact that it doesn't take off and fly into the sky, clearly not a bird. But there was definitely something over there in the tree for a moment before it dashes down and is gone. For a distinct moment, it definitely looked semi-humanoid.
And I'm the only one that saw it?
You are the perceptive one here. Everybody else is just going about their business. But it was quite a distance away. So, and the fact that you saw it disappear and be gone, you have no idea which way it went, so there's no way that you would catch up.
I'll tell everybody what I saw. And tell them I don't know what way they went, but there was something.
Okay. Guys, Helena just said that she just came up to all of you and kind of said that there was... Well, I shouldn't speak for you. What do you say exactly? Like, how do you phrase it?
Hey guys, I just saw this something humanoid up in the tree, and it dashed down and disappeared. I don't know where it went, though.
Curious.
Well,
yeah, it was very curious.
Huh. Well, and Robin will kind of look over at all of you guys.
Was it another bird woman?
Oh, the harpies? It's just, well, Given that it didn't take flight, there's
didn't.
there's a chance probably not. For funsies, Helena, roll one more perception check. This one will be kind of difficult. We're gonna see how well you picked out details even at that distance.
How about a 20?
I should just shut up and stop asking for rolls.
You should, apparently.
Apparently. Just like I'm getting my butt kicked over here and we're not even in combat proper. So the fact that it didn't take flight tells you not a flyer, not a harpy. But while you didn't see any feathers, there was something about the way that the silhouette and the shadow shifted when the person or whatever it was moving from their initial position and turning and getting ready to land on the ground or another branch or what have you. You do distinctly remember seeing a beak. So there's a lot of possibilities there. There are plenty of, avian-shaped, humanoidish monsters out there. There are, of course, Kenku. There are, of course, Aarakocra.
Yeah,
but again, the fact that they didn't take flight kind of rules out Aarakocra at the very least.
Yeah.
So you've heard tell of a lot of different beaked monsters as well. So there's a lot of possibilities. But the fact that it was much more humanoid shape does speak to it, saying there's just a person out here. And as you kind of bring up that detail, Robin does go over and be like, "Oh no, seen someone with." Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Just ignore him going.
Oh, okay. No worries. So, as long as I'm not talking over anybody. But anyway, as you guys notice as Robin kind of picks out that detail, he'll kind of bring Sir Soren over, who's resting on his hand, and go, "Oh no, seeing someone with a beak, how terrified." I don't think it's that bizarre for us to see people out and about. It's not like we're the only people out in the world. And there are plenty of weirdos that, spend their time outside the cities and in the forest. For all we know, it's just another druid just checking us out and seeing what we're all about. And you guys remember, you did fight a druid recently that did not live in any kind of city proper. They just kind of lived on their own. So, and there are, specifically Elcod, you as a druid of the land would know that there are plenty of druids out there that just live out in their specific, the druids of your circles specifically don't really primarily lived in named cities or anything like that. They form their own circles and whatnot, and kind of just have their own little communities out in the wilderness. So this could be some lone druid, this could be something else, it could just be a total random passerby. So So how do you guys want to, there's really not much that you guys can do, because no matter how long you wait here, no individual makes themselves known, and nothing comes out and just attacks you, no questions asked. So do you guys change up anything on how you carry on your way as you move to the 4th day?
I think things have been going well so far, so we shouldn't change them.
5th day, I suppose. Because you had the 1 day before we started
I'll keep my armor on and keep my guard up.
Okay. I kind of assumed you had your armor on all the time, but okay. Good to know. So yeah, as you guys just kind of keep an eye out for things, that's going to move us to the next day here. Elcod, if you could roll that D100. Another 22. That's once again with the light clouds here. I don't like how these percentages are spread out, but that's fine. And Elcod, besides showing off that you already knew how to cast Fairy Fire, what are you doing in your me time as these days go on?
I'm trying to figure out how this other druid we met did the wall of fire, so I'm gonna be practicing that.
Yeah, that's right. She did do that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be practicing that and kind of thinking on it, and just y'all will probably see me just away, not really right next to people, trying to figure this out, and eventually we'll end up casting Wall of Fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, is there any sort of special way that you cast your spells as a druid? Like, some people simply just kind of have body language. Some people liken it to almost like a martial art form or anything like that. Is there anything special or unique that you do that you kind of have to get down and perfect before you're able to access the spell properly?
No, I just have to understand it, like what it is. So I'm
Okay.
thinking about fire and what it can do, what it consumes, and how it can be used, right? And then
Right.
as I get more and more into that, I can then just kind of just cast it. Like I can flick my wrist and it'll just appear.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes a little bit, and you do have to put out a few fires there once you kind of get going. But beyond that, I believe we also discussed that you now have access to freedom of movement and what was the other? Divination. Anything special you're doing with those as these several days go by?
Not in particular with divination, just because may need to talk with you after, like out of character on that one. Just because it says a sacrificial offering appropriate to your religion.
Kill your fellow dragonborn. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like,
Yeah, Mother Nature's nasty, man. Like, give me a blood sacrifice. No, you're good.
Yeah, so
we can figure it out, but I don't think it'll be anything too crazy unless you're asking me for a miracle.
no, I was just like, I don't really have a religion. Like Mother Nature, you want me to sacrifice your animals to you?
Let's see here. So,
But yeah,
incense and a sacrificial offering appropriate to your religion, together worth at least 25 gold pieces, which the spell consumes. So yeah, I don't believe you have incense on you.
no, definitely not.
And I don't think there's a lot of squirrels and deer out there that are worth at least 25 gold.
Yeah. That was
Silver and bronze, or copper maybe, but not gold.
They're a golden squirrel.
Unless those antlers are coated in like platinum, I don't think they're going to be worth anything.
Chinese?
I'm sorry?
That'd be terrifying to see a deer with
Chinese?
metal antlers.
Right.
But yeah,
scary deer out there. Anyway, your magic and an offering put you into contact with, in this case, it would be Mother Nature, because you're a druid.
Mm-hmm.
You ask a single question, goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days, and I will offer you a truthful reply. It could be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't really take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as casting of additional spells, or the loss or gain of a companion. And if you cast a spell multiple times before your long rest, there's a lesser chance of you getting a proper reading than just getting something random. So while you don't have, do you practice this at all, despite you lacking the material components, or is this just something that you've heard about from your druidic circle and have been told that you should be able to do? But just
I would definitely say the latter of the two, of like, hey, this is something you'll be able to do. Heard about it, been taught about it, but it's not something, like you said, like I don't have the components, so it's like something I'm not even
Right.
focused
Okay.
on right now.
You're not even so okay. So for now, you're not quite giving it the practice because, but based on everything that you've been taught and have learned so far, I'm gonna say you definitely have that feeling of like I'm the only thing I'm lacking now is the proper components and materials for it. Like, because you definitely get the sense that you are at the level where you can give it a proper go. All right. As you guys go on, and also totally not given freedom of movement like the shaft here, but you are also capable of casting that spell, and where difficult terrain will not impede you and such. So yeah, a creature of your choice will go unaffected by terrain, and spells and other magical effects that reduce their speed or cause you to be paralyzed or restrained will not work.
Yeah, and it's I need a leather strap bound around the arm or a similar appendage. I'm wearing leather armor.
So yeah, you're good to go on that all the time. So yeah, that works out perfectly for you. So you can essentially run through the dense forest, and this isn't like someone's personal garden. The plants grow the way that they're going to grow here, and the only real pathways beyond the dirt roads are the ones that the animals make. But you can easily, with this spell, make your way through all of that completely unimpeded. And last, but certainly not least, Gwai here, if you could roll that final D100 for me. Oh, 7. Okay. Ooh, once again, clear skies. So, Gwai here, before you tell us that's what you've been doing and hopefully been typing all that out, I will also say between these, since Helena spotted this bizarre little figure, none of you guys have seen anything since. At least currently. So, why here? Why don't you tell us what you've been up to this last week or so, essentially?
To level up things. For the first one, the others will see me exercising a lot by running around with buckets of water on my shoulders, seeing we are meant to myself and generally getting bulkier. And that is for my defense feat.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, you guys will generally see with their newly fixed schnoz, Gwai here has started a reference to Mulan training regiment. And is there anything else that you have going on, Gwai, here, as these days go by?
I'll also practice a new spell by heating my sword and cutting up various meats to instantly cook it.
Okay. So.
That's my new spell, Searing Smite.
I don't know if that's what that does, but okay. So.
In the message to us, you did say Goofy.
I'm sorry?
In the message to us, you did say Goofy.
Sure. I did. Yep. That's on me. I did tell you guys to get goofy and creative with it. So. Alright. Is there anything else that you guys want to discuss with each other as you are making your way over this past week here? And just generally expanding your horizons in your own martial and arcane expertise.
Yeah, did we ever finish the money discussion so we know who's going with what's going with who? Because
all the money is still present. It has not gone anywhere.
Personally, I just would like some money on my character because I have none.
Oh, I thought that you guys had just automatically taken what everybody had divided up
Yeah, the suggestion was 880 each, and then we can each
for the gold, and then 200
Yeah.
silver per person.
200
First
silver.
of all, I'm not carrying that on my person at one time on a
Well, then
horse.
You can leave the rest
What?
of it in the boxes. You just put that as party fun.
You guys
How
do
about
have
we all take
backpacks.
100 for now?
100 gold apiece.
That's good. That's good walking around money.
I mean, that's still kind of rich. It's like, you guys would be good for quite a while if you all just took like 100 silver.
I was thinking like 20 gold, and then just
Right. That's 200 silver. Like, unless you're buying like really bougie food, and you guys aren't even at a town yet. Like, you've passed a couple, but like you've literally just stayed there long enough to like you were basically just buy them for the food supply, and then they didn't even these towns were so small they didn't even have like proper inns. Like, you guys basically had to sleep in the wagon, like with your bedrolls and such, and just kind of carried on your way. So, like, yeah, you guys don't really. Also, you bought enough food before you left, so you really don't need the coins like physically on your person at the moment. So, yeah, no, if you guys want to talk about that before you head out proper, once you get to Duskhaven, don't let me stop you. Go right ahead.
I mean, I decided to take what would be considered his cut, but then put 100 in for that party fund.
Mm-hmm. And we could just say that you guys have like sectioned things out, so it's not just like piles of coin and all that. Like, it's obviously sectioned out in your knapsacks or whatever. So, yeah, if you guys got anything else that you want to bring up and chat about or talk about yourselves with, you can go right ahead.
I will also practice my accuracy with my spells by hunting for food.
Okay. I'll tell you what, seeing as how you're doing this on a clear sky day, go ahead and give me a survival check with advantage.
with advantage, she smells like dragon.
It does smell because of the cloak. 16 is pretty good, though. Yeah. So, with both your magics, you know, some of the, and your searing smite, some of the rabbits and squirrels that you managed to find don't have as much usable meat on them as they would have if you had just shot them with a crossbow or an arrow. But you are definitely able to save you guys some rations and such. So normally, this would put us at 6 days out of your 18-day trip. So you guys have 12 more days to go to make your way to Duskhaven. But you do have 1 additional day's worth of food. So if you guys do end up making some kind of side detour at some point, you will have that to your advantage. Also, I will point out, Robin has been making use of the potions that they got from the Fey Emporium. You guys have had not only no arcane mishaps happen with the shard that he is carrying still in the lead box, but also he hasn't even been like he hasn't even been muttering incantations in his sleep. So it's like you guys have this on triple lock. Like, there's distance between him and the shard's in a lead box, and he took the potion to just knock himself out. So you guys have like triple fail safes here. And it has not been an issue. Do any of you ask Robin anything as the days go by? Do you chat with him at all? Your technical freelance employer here? If you guys have any questions for him, he has he is properly rested and not getting drained by his own research item, he is quite the talker. But also realizes that this group is fairly new, and it's not exactly like your lifelong friends, so when he notices that you guys are getting tired, he does kind of just eventually stop talking.
Actually, Okard would have a question for...
No questions, but I compliment him on how well he fought on his own. I'm particularly impressed by that.
Okard would actually have a question for Sir Soren, since...
Oh, okay.
I personally keep forgetting Sir Soren can talk, but...
yeah, no worries. I gotcha.
Yeah, Okard
just
should remember.
Bear with me on that just for a sec. So as Gwai here just kind of compliments the fight that she did not see. Stop it, Mitch. Like, now I'm self-conscious of me saying that all the time. Anyway, as you compliment Robin on the fight that you did not see, merely the aftermath with the electrocuted, burned, frozen, and crushed harpy bodies that were all along the battlefield here, he goes, so yeah, I appreciate that. You need to be able to handle yourself out there in the world, and in my opinion, magic is the best way to make that happen. So, and he won't summon the huge hand that you waved at before, but simply a mage hand alongside it, and just he'll actually he'll use his mage hand and have it take the reins in place of his other hand as he kind of like adjusts his clothes, or just calmly strokes the feathers of Sir Soren and such, and he says it's what I rely on. And he gets this, for a moment, he gets this very somber look on his face, and Gwai here and Okard, you guys are, as usual, the ones closest to him on the wagon, and you do hear him say, usually. And Sir Soren will actually kind of tilt his head for a moment and say, it's fine, sir. We're away from everything now. And the thing that comes to mind that he could potentially be referring to is the very first time you guys met him, and you discovered and discussed the shard and what it is and how he got it and all that. He talked about being a researching wizard that was coming up from Telahara. And specifically, he said that he was ambushed by bandits and such. So it's possible that he's referring to something like that, or it could be something that happened way, way back in his life, or something to that effect. But you guys are all given the very strong impression that, while not particularly egotistical, not maliciously so anyway, Robin definitely does seem to think that magic is kind of calling it the be-all end-all is slightly wrong, but it's also slightly it's not off the mark. He has great confidence in both his skills and its potential. Okard, what were you going to say to Sir Soren? Just the thing to remember about him, that Robin has... one of the things that he also explained to you at one point was that, Sir Soren is a real animal, that that's the thing that you can do with familiars. You can find a real creature and cast the spell and make them a familiar instead of just like summoning one, essentially. That kind of limits your options on what you can get. And then one of the other offhand comments that Robin gave was that he said that as a reward for some of his contributions in his arcane environmental research and such, his master at the time awakened Sir Soren. And what awakening does is that it gives the creature a base level intelligence, and it gives them the ability to speak. So, my apologies. Okard, what were you going to say?
Ogard's curious if Sir Soren would have any know-how on how to use scrolls, and if Sir Soren really has any way to defend himself.
So this is just, do you try to talk to Sir Soren a lot over these last couple of days? Or, because again, all of this is happening over the course of these, 5 days here. So is this the only thing you really ask him about? Or do you have other things in mind?
The main thing I was wondering, because...
Gotcha.
So that scroll.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So as you kind of explain all of that, Robin doesn't really pay it any mind and lets Sir Soren kind of speak for himself here, and he goes, as exciting as an idea as that was, and trust me, Mr. Robin has certainly tried. It does not seem I'm capable of doing such. Well, for one, I lack the arcane ability to use such items, or the understanding, I suppose. And for two, and he lifts up a talon. He's kind of come back to the back of, and he's on the floorboards of the wagon with you, and he lifts up a talon and closes it like he would on prey or something. And he's just I believe I lack the thumbs to break the, and you'll look down and see the wax seal on it and such. Because some people activate magic scrolls by reading them aloud. Some people just undo the seal on it and tear it, and stuff happens. You're not really encouraged to go down that path, but that is a way to do it. He just says, as fun as the idea is, we have experimented, and unfortunately it did not work. My general method of defending myself is to, I have two ways of doing it. And you'll see this falcon tilt his head to the side again, the monocle almost slipping off his face. You're not quite sure how that thing stays on, but it does. And he'll look at you and say, I do two things. Before I became Mr. Robin's familiar, I flew away, or I just made sure I could kill the thing that was around, like if it was a mouse or a rodent of some kind. The other way I defend myself is I just sit myself down on Mr. Robin's shoulder. If we've been in a few small scraps and such, well, not even including these and everything, and in my opinion, the safest place in the battlefield. So, I don't believe you've all actually seen the full extent of what he can do, so he's still a bit drained from this whole fiasco with his, the shard and such. And Robin will kind of call over and be like, I'm fine, Soren. Quit doting on me. And that's kind of all that Sir Soren has for you, as he kind of rejoins his master at the front. Unless you guys, they're open to talking to you guys, so if you got other stuff that you want to ask him about, that's perfectly fine. You've got 5 days to do it. But if not, I believe we're a little overdue for a break. So, It's up to you guys. If you want to ask your questions, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying we'll get to them after the break here. Or you could talk about things amongst yourselves.
Everyone's still here?
I really don't know. Sladen was saying that she had to put her kids to bed, but I never got any confirmation that she even came back.
And yeah, I was about to say, Mitch is the loudest one here.
I'm not here.
Well, I guess he's gone too. Dang.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's just Sladen there that had to give her kids a little bit extra time and attention there, so no worries on that. So, what I think we're gonna do here, it's about 8:25 where I am. I think we're gonna take 10 to 15-minute break-ish. I think we'll come back around 8:40, and we will continue on here with this next little stretch of your journey and such, as we've kind of gotten to everybody. In the middle of it again. Wonderful. Anyway, as you guys are, over the course of these days, you do hear a couple of things from Robin and such. Are there any particular questions that you ask him about? He stated several times in the first couple of days where you guys talked to him, where he said that he was going from the city of Telahara. Here, let me move you guys over real quick to that world map. He says that he was going from down here in Telahara in his magical studies and his colleagues and all that. And you guys found him close to the cities of the no-name towns in the middle of the forest in Yanrel here. And you're currently making your way over to Duskhaven. This journey from Yanrel to Duskhaven, thanks to Helena, is going to take about 18 days or so. So you guys are, I'd say, about a third of the way through. You're kind of just reaching the base of the mountains here. Or getting beyond them, I suppose. So, is there anything in particular that you to go over within that time frame? Anything that comes to mind? You guys can ask questions about each
How
other.
well does he know the area?
Jump scares me every time. It's going to take some getting used to. But that's okay. How well he knows the area, Robin... As far as the specific area that he goes, Robin kind of turns to you, Guai, here, and says, I was born and raised originally in Duskhaven, so before I grew up and went down to Telahara, so... I mean, I know the general area. If you're asking about specifics, or, you guys have kind of been traveling like multiple miles every single day. So it's not like one of those things where, he's going to know every back alley of the woods, essentially. So he knows, he's generally stayed on the trails and such as you guys have made your way through stuff. So if you guys were to go off into the wilderness, there's really no guarantee that Robin would be able to guide you properly unless that guide was to get back to the trail. So. Well, okay. Someone explain to me, as I didn't see these before. What are these sleight of hand checks? Or was that just a joke that happened on the break?
That was a joke. That happened on the break.
Gotcha. Okay, no worries then. So yeah, Guai here, Robin will just kind of answer you with that he knows, the general area, but as far as... He kind of looks at you and says, is there anything specific you're looking for? Because, aside from the harpies and the giants that we've seen and such, I assume that you guys have told him about the hill giant. But he says, aside from their dwellings and such, I don't know of anything particularly notable that's out here. And the, smaller, nameless towns and such. So. What, and he's like, he kind of has this thought for a moment here, and he's like, I don't think I ever asked any of you. Are any of you from Duskhaven? And he looks back to all of you.
Cart shakes his head.
I'm from Oakenspire.
Oh. Well, we're going in a bit of the opposite direction of that now. So. Fair enough. And the rest of you?
I'm from further west.
Wester than Duskhaven. Oh, are you from the islands and such? So, Remind me then, are you from Clayhelm? Maybe Frost Harbor? Or are you from the Iribo Islands? Or are you not even from any of the particularly named cities and such? Ooh, Shimmer? What about Shimmer Pass? Shimmer Pass is a good... That's quite the climb. And I think it was Elcod. I believe you were the only one that did not answer.
Oh yeah, because I don't know where I'm from. I made up the place, remember?
Oh. Okay, well then, that would be your answer then.
Mhm.
Okay. It says, uh-huh. Alright. So. It's my turn now, guys. Oh,
I'm blanking
Okay.
too.
I'm sorry?
Oh no, talk about something different.
Yeah, what were you gonna say? I didn't...
That's the thing, I don't have anything.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
blanking. Like,
Gotcha.
can't think of anything.
Alright. Well. So, Robin does actually try to fill the silence a little bit, and he says, so tell me, was the Harpies the worst of it? With what you've had to fight here, or was that the this supposed mammoth that I had to... you told me I summoned back in, well, I don't even know what the name of that town was, but back in the place where you all found me. Was that the worst of it? He's asking you guys about the things that you have fought in the past. About, like, what the worst of everything was.
Oh, Elena just starts laughing.
Oh, right.
Ooh, right. You...
Eh,
I apologize. No, I sympathize. That's you mentioned half orcs or orcs before. Yes, that's a sore spot. Bandits and such.
that's not the worst.
That's not the worst.
Ah, my apologies for making assumptions. What are you referring to then?
False Hydra.
You had some static. I couldn't hear you.
False Hydra.
A what?
A false Hydra.
I've never heard... actually, hold on. Let me check for this guy. He's got a... Come on, buddy. You've had some studies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's... yeah, no, so with that 17 on the intelligence check, even with that, is he kind of... You see, like, the gears turning in his head for a moment, and he's, like... His eyes are kind of darting back and forth where he's just... Eventually I've never heard of such a thing, unfortunately, and well, monstrosities aren't exactly my forte, but I like to think I've fought my fair share. What? And, do you just... How do you respond? Do you just say, like, it sucks and not elaborate, or do you go into any kind of detail?
She'll say, turned out to be one of the worst things I ever fought, and I never want to fight one again.
Oh. What does it look like, exactly? Like, is it like...
Yeah,
I've been told that a Hydra is, like, draconic, but also eel-like. So what does a false Hydra look like?
It was just rather large and had many heads.
Oh. So there's a reason that they call it the Hydra. Alright.
You cut one off and one just comes back.
Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. So when you start describing it as fleshy and such, he's kind of like, oh, so... Regenerative, multiple heads, but less draconic and amphibious. I see. And then he kind of, but there's a little moment where he's very curious and like tries to almost conjure something similar in his hand with minor illusion, and then he just kind of stops and he's just like, gross. I don't wanna.
Believe me, you don't want to see it.
I will tell you, there is perhaps not quite as disgusting, but there are, and again, his face will kind of be a bit downtrodden, and he'll say there are very bizarre creatures in this world. I've seen quite a few of them, and
don't ever let it kill something you love.
I will, and you'll see him actually look towards his familiar, and he'll be like, I'll keep that in mind. And Helena, remind me for a moment, just refresh my memory here, out of character. Actually, so Sladen, remind me. Those, like, stones and beads that you guys were taking care of and, like, found with your old party, what exactly was their function again? Because I'm currently under the impression that if you, like, threw them on the ground, they would summon bizarre creatures, right?
Yes. Depending on what Trent rolled is whether it was on your side or not.
Okay. But, like, what sort of creature got summoned?
Whatever he rolled.
Gotcha. Okay.
It was strictly dependent on him, so.
Okay. Because I don't think you ever actually told him. I don't think you ever told Robin about it. I'm just saying this out of character.
Yeah, this is out of game.
So, but as you kind of go on to describe what a false Hydra is and such, and you guys need to put more in the chat so that picture disappears.
Yeah, really.
I'm like looking at it. But anyway, seeing as how you haven't described anything like that to him, and he doesn't know anything about that, the only thing he'll really kind of say was, as he stops using minor illusion to try and figure out what a false Hydra is, he will say there are, and he'll show his hand up for the rest of you to see, there are some very bizarre creatures out there in the world, and as he casts minor illusion one more time, you guys will see he'll say, like, this was actually a creature that was under the control of the people that attacked me initially, the people that drove me into to be in hiding in that smaller town where we initially met under. And he's kind of laughing about it now, thinking about how it was much better it's how things are much better circumstances now. I shouldn't say back then. So what he'll actually conjure up to show you guys is it's this thing where it is this lion head with this skeletalized goat head on the side of it, and there's a snake head in there somewhere, but because he doesn't form the whole body of the creature correctly, because supposedly he didn't get quite a good look at it, he just shows it to you, and he's like, there was this creature that I saw. It was some form of a chimera, and there was a lion head in there was a goat skull, and there was a snake part at some point. I remember seeing it, but
Sure.
there was the bandits that initially attacked me and my colleagues and made off with some of our research supplies and such. that somehow they had control of such a creature, and it still perplexes me how exactly they. Well, there are plenty of questions on that, but and he'll kind of dismiss his illusion and say it's just like I said. Magic is quite the powerful tool and shield, and it should really be able to under normal circumstances, be able to handle with anything that the world can throw at you. So, and he'll kind of, well, if he wasn't in the driver's seat, he would reach back and pat you on the shoulder. But it's very obvious that he's trying to be polite and politely comforting, without kind of overstepping kind of boundary, and just say, in my opinion, keep training, as he's kind of observed you guys over the past couple of days. Keep growing, and I'm sure you'll be able to handle whatever the world can throw at you from now on. And if not, adapt and find a new way to do so. And then Sir Soren will actually kind of mutter under his breath, or die. And he's like, Soren, that's how many times? That was one time that I made that joke. Don't say that anymore. So apparently Sir Soren has adopted a tiny bit of Robin's dark humor. You actually see Robin's ears go a little red as he suppose knows exactly where Sir Soren got that joke from.
Make do or die.
Basically. And it seems Robin's way of making do is to pursue higher and higher forms of magic. So, do you guys have anything else that you want to ask Robin about? Anything else that you want to discuss amongst yourselves? There were already discussions of the potential party fund and such.
We agreed with
Sorry, who was it that said they can't remember where they're from? Was that in character?
Yeah, that was Elcod, and I think that he just kind of meant it as a druid thing. Is that right? You said you didn't know where you were from?
Yep.
And that was... am I correct in assuming that was just a druid thing?
Partially, and yes.
Oh, okay. It's just like the DM called me out and I gave a non-committal answer. So, I'm sorry. Mitch interrupted somebody. God, Mitch. Can't believe it.
I was asking if we got 100 apiece agreed upon for the gold.
Yeah, like most of the gold, unless...
just took out whatever they wanted to carry.
Yeah, like... Generally, I think what we can agree on here, without making it too complicated, is you guys all have 880 gold pieces and 200 silver.
Yeah.
But it is your personal choice whether or not you physically have that on your person or not. Because if you do, there is a non-0% chance that it might affect how you start rolling for stealth if you have that all in one bag.
Yeah, because I already have a bunch of gold. If I carry any more, it's just gonna be bad.
Yeah. So we can figure that out. For now, you guys haven't really had to venture away from the... you guys really haven't had to venture away for a course of, like, almost the last week-ish now. And, I would like, as the 6th day of high winds, that's actually what I never specified for you guys when I rolled that D100 for the 84. There are high winds today, so you guys are slowed down on your progress a little bit, and you definitely, there are times, since none of you have like proper goggles or anything, you do have to shield your eyes from the wind and just kind of step out of the way a bit. So I would like everyone to roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
Perception.
And you know what? Robin's even gonna do one too. He is the one driving. Oh, buddy, you only got a...
Man.
So for him, that's a 5. Robin isn't seeing anything. 6, 10, 8. Mumbo and Elcod. There's Elcod's.
You said perception, right?
Yeah, with disadvantage. Oh no, Robin, you are in fact seeing the least amount of things today. So as he's out there and he's sitting in the front seat unless anybody else was volunteering to drive. And so as he's doing kind of all this, he doesn't see anything because you guys are basically on a straight shot on the road and he doesn't have to look towards too much. Like he barely looks back and forth to just correct the horses from going off into the ditch before looking back towards you guys. You don't see anything. Helena, definitely not. Mumbo, definitely not. Helena, because you do have your awareness that we just went over with your level up. Let's see, what was your other roll here? It was a 6.
Yeah.
Plus 5, so that makes it an 11. So, okay, so you and Elcott are kind of around the same thing here. So I'll say, yeah, with that, you guys will definitely be able to... Well, really, you don't make out too much. Let me roll one thing here. Yeah, with that 11, everybody but Okard and Robin can at one point make out in the distance that there is a turn for a town kind of off to the side here. You come across a bit of a fork in the road, one that would definitely Robin kind of looks at it and he goes like, I'm not too familiar with this, but I think we would veer off and there would be a town somewhere. You guys did almost miss it with this, so I take it you would want to veer off to the side where Robin is indicating.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys make your way down the road, there is no need to roll a perception check for this. I apologize that we've been on this one map the whole time. Let me double check one more thing. Oh yeah.
Happens when you travel for 17 days.
You have been traveling for 6. This is the 7th, actually. You guys are definitely able to make out the village that's off in the trees off to the side here. And before that, you do come to this fork in the... an additional kind of cross paths, this additional fork in the road. And as you guys are kind of not talking as much and just trying to make your way through the wind that gets around here, you do actually see something over at the end of the crossroads here. It looks like a statue, if you were able to zoom in enough, but it's not 100% accurate there. So, it's not quite 100% accurate to what's here on the map. Instead of a platform, and instead of it being what's clearly a angelic sculpture with wings and such, you don't see too many of those out there. Azamar or otherwise. It's not exactly a common sight. In fact, what you guys see is still, in fact, this small child, this statue of them that appears to be kind of just standing over at attention, but they are not at attention. That makes it sound like military, but they seem to be in a natural standing position, almost like this sculpture should be upright. And one of their hands is up, like they were, like you do when you come out from behind a tree, like they were leaning on it slightly. And fortunately, the sculpture is not fully intact, as it seems to have been knocked over onto the ground. And the hand that looked like it would be resting on that tree has broken off. Is there any... That is all that is plainly obvious, even in the high winds, as you guys approach. Is there anything... Do you guys want to stop and check it out, or do you just want to carry on your way?
Would it even be possible to investigate it with all this wind?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, it's just kind of one of the... It's not like the wind is... You're not in a hurricane zone or anything.
Yeah, but...
It's just a little awkward, really. So, yeah, you can investigate if you like. Anyone who would like to.
Is there a...
I'll have a look.
Is there a... investigation check, or is it just flat?
Yeah, no, there's an investigation skill on your character sheet.
No, I mean, is it a flat roll, or are you just...
Yeah, yes, it's a flat roll.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys can feel free to move your tokens wherever you like. Robin is going to stay with the cabin here. Guahir and Helena, you guys are definitely like, yep, that's a statue.
Definitely a statue, yeah.
Okard, you come to a much more somber realization. Much darker one. As you kind of this statue over and just take in the details, it does occur to you that you have seen fine art in the larger cities and such. You have seen sculptures and paintings and works of art that are... The attention to detail is breathtaking. It's when you kind of bend down and you realize that you can count the individual eyelashes on this statue, that you realize this is far too detailed. You can make out the stone has a different hue and color on it, where you can make out small, like, little scars and birthmarks and freckles on the skin exposed here. And the clothes, even those, are far too detailed and realistic for this to be something that was carved by hand. Which leaves you guys with one of two possibilities. Either this is something that was conjured through magic, and very high level magic at that, or this is not a statue.
Mm.
Does anybody remember what sort of creatures you were told reside in this mountainous area before you departed from Yonrel?
Personally, I don't remember.
Was it?
You have encountered two, but there were some others.
Or something?
I know I should know.
There's a basilisk.
There it is. So as I'm sorry, not Robin. I'm calling out to myself here. Okard, as you kind of come to this realization here, how do you explain it to the rest of the group? Your findings of this child made of stone.
This wasn't a statue. Someone got turned to stone.
And calling out over the high winds and such, you'll see Robin kind of shout out to all of you. He says that's not too out of the ordinary. Unfortunately, there have been incidents where we find basilisks dwelling in the caves. And he kind of looks out, and you guys have just kind of gone beyond some of the mountains, like just barely. You're still kind of within that area. But the fact that he kind of looks over and says, I don't know why this basilisk would be so far out of the cave systems, though. That's truly odd. I don't believe any of you guys have certainly heard of basilisks and their ability to petrify people. But I'd like you guys to roll either a history, you can roll history, arcana, or nature to see if you know of ways to reverse the effects of petrification. Your choice. It's a flat roll.
Wait, you said a flat roll, or?
It's a standard roll, yes.
Yeah.
Of your choice between history, arcana, or nature.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought you meant just a flat d20. Maybe I need to start rolling ones without modifiers.
Layden, are you gonna roll anything? If you'd like, it's totally your choice.
You want a barbarian to roll arcana?
You never know. Or nature, or history. Don't know.
Nature? History? Y'all are funny.
You're the one that passed
No.
on history earlier.
So I'll
That
take
is
that
true.
I'll take that as a no then.
See if we can do.
Nope, didn't work that time.
All right. Unfortunately, Helena, the lessons that you got as a child in your childhood did not cover such a creature. So unfortunately, you don't know of many ways.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm not
So-
from here at all.
Yep. So, Mumbo, similar to you don't know of any potion or natural herb that'll be able to help you out in that regard. However, Okard, Elkod, and Gwai here, all of you guys have either... Let me just see here. Actually, yeah, all three of you did Arcana. So, you know that whatever sort of... It's not specifically like a magic spell, but it is a magical effect that petrifies the people. And you guys specifically know that while there are spells that can cure petrification, like both forms of the restoration spells, one of them just being much higher to cast because of all the energy it consumes and such. That is one way to cure petrification. And you guys would also know specifically about basilisks that many people say either as a way that they are coveted or as a way to horrify children from staying away from cave systems. You guys know that basilisks will petrify their prey, and one of the ways that you can cure them is if you get enough of a basilisk's saliva and pour it over a statue you can bring back. The reason that the basilisk has this saliva is that they can petrify their targets and then piece by piece consume them at their leisure. The basilisk has refrigeration, basically. So, seeing as how you guys don't have access to any restoration spells, I don't believe. And you guys obviously don't have any access to basilisk saliva at the moment.
I mean, I have lesser restoration if that's what you're talking about, but I
Oh.
don't believe that does anything for petrification.
Let me see here. Let me double check. I'll have to... Do. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was alt tapped for a moment. Who has Lester Restoration?
Elcod.
Elcod. Yeah, unfortunately, especially with that rule, you would know that while your ability would be able to cure someone from disease or being blind or deafened or such, and even cure those that are paralyzed in certain conditions, you would need the higher form of the spell, which is 5th level magic. You would need greater restoration to be able to cure someone who has been petrified by a basilisk. So unfortunately, your magical means are not sufficient enough to save this child, who is already broken. And again, Robin is just goes, it's like, again, I don't... It makes no sense on why it would be so far from the caves. I think it's best that we keep on our way and make our way into this town over here. They'll at least want to know that we found this, whoever this is. Maybe we can find their parents or something. At least make them aware of the unfortunate situation.
Agreed.
Elcard, while walking back towards the carriage, would ask Robin, would it possibly travel around at night?
Oh! I suppose that could make sense, since it likes being in the caves so much, but... I don't particularly know. I don't remember reading anything about them where they would be nocturnal. And, Helena, you have this moment where you definitely feel like something's off, given how the last several days have gone with your heightening sensitivity to just you're just hyper awareness of things. While you don't particularly perceive you guys to be under any immediate threat, you do just kind of have the hairs on the, your hairs just kind of stand up on end a little. And just like something niggling at the back of your mind that something is amiss.
Yeah, she didn't like it.
So, are you guys moving on, or is there something else that you want to do?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Hop back in the cart.
All right. My apologies, guys. The hand of God is going to move you. Ah! Helena, you flash stepped. Moved over, like, all the way over here on my screen.
What, over there?
Yeah, for some reason. Get back over here. I need to select all you guys and copy us.
Oh,
and go
hold on. Whee! Oh, sorry. I just said we. Because you're moving us.
Helena's got the zoomies, guys.
Oh, sorry. I should after the birthday party this weekend and that ice cream cake. Oh my gosh.
So. Oop, come on. Paste their tokens in. There we go. So. It's getting close to the evening. On the 6th day, if I'm keep 6th,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, 6. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, 7th, because you guys had the day out where you fought the harp giant, and then these next 5 days where you guys rolled, and then Robin got a day where he rolled for the weather. Which is a very bizarre sentence, because it makes it sound like he can control those things. But anyway, this is the 7th day of you guys heading out. You're still on schedule and on progress. You've been able to save a bit of food and everything. And you are currently, by Helena's estimates, of making good progress. You guys are about 11 days out from Duskhaven.
Woohoo!
So,
Aspect of the beast.
right. So, as you guys continue onward and following Robin's suggestion to make your way into this town, you travel a few miles down the road. And from there, come across this small stone and platform that is at the has been just kind of fallen into disrepair. You get the sense that something at some other time damaged it, and considering that you guys have believed there to be a basilisk in the area, well, basilisk definitely couldn't do this, but you guys did just fight a hill giant about a week ago. So, and they span across everywhere. They inhabit hills, not necessarily mountains. So, seeing that sort of thing, it's definitely not too, shall we say, bizarre. However, I would like everyone to roll one more perception check for me.
Really? Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, Helena's on top of it.
I see all tonight,
Okay.
and I will see nothing the next time.
Mumbo. Spike?
Is this flat or disadvantaged?
Nope. If I just tell you to roll it, and I don't say advantage or disadvantage, just kind of assume it's a flat roll.
Oh.
Poor Mumbo.
So, Helena, will get to you in a moment. Mumbo, Gwaihir, and Elcod. And Okard. You guys, right away, it's very easy to make out what the gate here and the little platform and such that have clearly had no one stationing at it for a while. That's fine. You can see the moss growing over the smashed stones and such. Your guess is that at some point a hill giant came through. But on a bunch of those rocks, there's easily mold and moss and such that have, more moss than anything, grown over it, and clearly it's very old. What is very fresh for you guys is this cart up ahead here. It has very clearly not been here very long. It has very clearly been damaged and hacked apart, as opposed to, because even the wood and the materials on it look fresh and new. This isn't a wagon. It almost looks like the one you guys have been using, very similar in its design and everything, and just how young and fresh the wood used to construct it looks. And also the fact that there isn't moss and such, on top of it, and it hasn't been reclaimed by nature just yet. It's also very easy to tell that there is something inside the cart. Very large, satchels of such. What are you guys going to do?
I'm gonna go look.
Helena.
Okay. So don't mind me, just checking my notes so I don't miss anything. Do.
You see nothing. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys kind of approach, these are not exactly satchels and such. Mumbo, Gwai here, Elcod, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna follow behind Helena.
I'm sorry, you had some static on my end. One more time.
I was saying I was gonna follow Helena and Okard.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on the surroundings, alert to dangers.
Okay. So you're not moving. Elcod, what are you doing with your horse?
Yeah, that's how I was like, I'm on a horse. I'm just gonna kind of
I'm on a horse.
keep an eye out and just see what's going on.
Okay. Robin will actually kind of just set down the horses for a moment and have them kind of just off to the side with the wagon here as he steps off and lets them just kind of rest for a moment. You guys have been walking for a while, and he seems very nervous as he comes up and approaches, and he's like, "What is all that? What's going on?" And everybody else was able to just kind of see, like, oh, this is a freshly, like, attacked and damaged wagon. So maybe something happened similar to, like, we just fought harpies that had raided people on the road for who knows how long and such. Maybe this is just a similar thing where these are the remnants of, like, a raid or something like that. And
I want to touch it.
yep, hold on. We're getting to what Helena sees with her 23 perception. Even before seeing, just kind of taking in the cart and everything, you definitely notice that it's bizarre that you're this close to the town and you don't hear any signs of people or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even more disturbing is that these aren't exactly bags, per se. Like, they're not the satchels or knapsacks or hiking bags that you guys are carrying all your belongings in. When I say they're bags, what I really mean is that they're more so like sacks. Almost like bed sheets or tarps, almost. Just very large swaths of cloth where you lay it down on the ground, you place whatever you're carrying in the middle, and then you hoist all corners up and just throw it over your shoulder. Like something like
somebody
that.
was moving.
Right. Or more specifically, that somebody was moving somebody. As one of the shapes of these sacks here, essentially, is very clearly in the shape of a humanoid.
Uh-oh.
Helena, specifically for you, what are you focusing on here, and what are you going to do? With seeing as how you had the highest perception on this.
I'm gonna look at the the bags and say, why does this one look like it's a humanoid?
Oh, it's not just the one.
They all look like them. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna need you to give. So you're going to investigate them further?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a roll, please.
Investigation?
Yep.
Well, this is gonna hurt. Nat 20! Sorry.
Ooh.
Sorry. Nat 20.
No, it's all good. It's our first nat 20 of the night. So.
Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
As you kind of search through all of this, these are thankfully not statues in the bags, but they are 3 adults. 3. One of them is a human. One of them is clearly a half elf, of some kind. And the final one is takes you a little bit because for a moment you think that he's a human, and then you are able to you brush back the sack a little bit more, and you brush by a horn in his hair, and you realize that it's a tiefling gentleman who he just had, more subtle features. And by all accounts, these men are, they haven't been stripped of any armor or anything. By all accounts, with their clothes and all that, these appear to be just normal townsfolk and peasants. But specifically with that nat 20 on your investigation check, you do find rather something that's not in the cart here.
Not in
Blown away by the high winds that are going off today, further off over here, as you kind of just have this moment and look around, you see a large piece of paper just blowing in the wind.
a large piece of paper blowing in the wind. I will go over and pick it up.
Okay. Where are you going exactly?
To get the paper?
Yeah. So, as you go over here towards the tree line where the piece of paper has been caught in the bushes, you will see writing that takes place is it's written in Dwarven script. It's not the common tongue or Elvish or anything like that. So let me ask you a question here, Helena. What languages do you speak?
Well, I mean...
I'm just kidding. I would assume that you speak Dwarvish.
I speak Common, Dwarvish, and Orcish.
Perfect. So yes, written in the Dwarven script here, you will see, as it supposedly was blown away from the bodies. You don't know what sort of instinct tells you that, but as you read the Dwarven characters, that becomes very clear, as the only thing written on this paper is, "Give us Robin and the stones, or this will be you."
What? Wait, what?
"Give us Robin and the stones, or this will be you."
I'm gonna turn and tell them what the letter says.
Okay. What specifically do you say? I need you to be specific here. Yeah.
I'll turn and I'll walk back over kind of between everybody and say, this letter says in Dwarvish, give us and the stones, or this will be you.
You staticked out a little bit.
Aw, dang it. I'm gonna say, this letter is written in Dwarvish, and it says, give us Robin and the stones, or this will be you.
Alright. Unfortunately, you only get so far as to say the word Robin. Let me see if I still have this. Oh, come on. I know I just had this. Nope, it's not here anymore. Anyway, That's fine. I'll draw what happens next, because you said the trigger word.
Oh, great.
As you read the note, and you say, "Get Robin," and you don't get to say the rest of it, as this large, and I'll specify the size of it later, underneath the dirt, these large runes start shining through the road that you guys had been traveling on and burst up into power as the magic that you guys had been focusing on and practicing the last few days, and that some of you can feel from your weapons, you can feel just goes inert. Even Robin, who had been constantly practicing his prestidigitation and such, as just little tricks and ways to basically, it's like flexing arcane muscles, basically. And he just, all of it just drops in that moment. And as that way you hear, "There he is, boys! There's our mark! Let's finally finish this off! I'm getting tired of this damn job!" As several figures burst from the trees and clear on the intent that to ambush all of you. Helena, your hairs are sticking on the full end here, and you will be the person that will be able to function normally on this surprise round here. However, that is going to happen next time, as our session is going to end here.
God damn it.
What is it?
So, my apologies, you guys. So yeah, unfortunately, we do just have to cut it short there for tonight. Because a full combat session would just take way too long.
Are they in a magic bubble?
Magic bubble.
There are I'll resize the field appropriately here, because it's supposed to be a 40 by 40. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, no, it needs to get bigger.
Yeah.
And I'll replace it appropriately, so... That's not right. 10, 20. There we go. As a 40 by 40 foot anti-magic field is activated.
Oh, so like if I did Dispel Magic?
Seeing as how it was a set of more than one rune, you could potentially free up some of the space. But it would take a while. So, I will go into more... Holly, I don't know if you're still recording, but I assume that you're done by now.